Good evening and welcome to Prime Sports with me, Razak Musbau. And let's start with the Kraha to folk who have unveiled Serbian Slavko Matic as a new head coach following the departure of Samo Buedu. The 46-year-old holds a UEFA Pro license and has enormous experience, having been in charge of clubs in Europe and Asia. Board chairman of Heart of Folk, Toby Afede, the system, wants the new coach to lead their charge for the season's Ghana Premier League title.
Matic was a player himself and has played in big clubs, and in fact derives this part of his confidence from the fact that he has had to play under a lot of pressure during his playing days. So he comes to us with that solid experience as a player and as a coach, you know, and has youthful exuberance, has desire. When he heard about Kraha of Folk, he was very thrilled because he saw that it's a big brand. He saw that it would be a high pressure kind of environment, one that he thinks he would thrive in best. And he sees House of Folk, you know, as a club he can develop with. So we are very happy to have him. Let me add that, you know, we don't typically set definitive targets for our coaches. But one thing he knows is that as far as Accra is concerned, failure to win the league is failure. So he knows that we expect to win the league. Okay? He knows that we have Africa ambitions. Okay? And so he has to be part of that. Success will not depend only on him. To depend on all of us working as a team. We supporting him and the players, and of course, the fans are also very important in all of this.
Well, let's just stay on the Hearts board chairman to wait for the season. He has passed the vote of confidence on board members Alhaji Akambi and Soa Odote. The two administrators who have been at Heart of Folk for close to 11 years have recently come under increased pressure from fans calling for them to step down from the club.
Leadership for many years now. I've founded many companies which I've led. And I can say without any doubt, without any of contradiction, that the likes of Akambi and Honorable Odote are very rare. Haji Akambi works with a passion that sometimes surprises me. We've been having difficulty, for example, implementing our Pubman project. We had a professional in charge of supervising that place. Sometimes weeks, and I don't know what is happening. We said, Akambi, just help us. Make sure we finish Pubman by the end of the year. Sometimes I call Akambi 6:30. He's on at Pubman in the morning, when many of those who are accusing him are fast asleep.
Togbe after the season there. Now, the world title dream of Alfred, the Bukom bomber Lamptey, is on course after a win in Tanzania. The national super featherweight champion was a tough nut to crack for his Namibian opponent, Abraham Nduadapo, securing a well-deserved unanimous victory. So, what next for Alfred Lamptey after that massive win in Tanzania? His promoter, Alex Ntiamwa, joins us in studio here. And Alex, good to see you here today. And well, tell me, I mean, that bout that Alfred had in Tanzania, tell me, how was he really able to get that win?
It's a very, very good test for Alfred Lamptey. You know, as a boxer, if you want him to win the world title, you need to take him out of his comfort zone. He's fought most of his fights here. His last 11, he has fought 11 fights here in Ghana. And so you need to take him outside so that at least you can test the boxer. And The last fight that he fought on 30th of September was one of the rigorous
test you wanted him to go through.
I wanted him to go through so that at least he would be ready to beat
Great.
the world.
But what next for him after that, major victory in Tanzania?
Actually, we're looking at getting him in a camp in South Africa. And after the camp, he will be moving to Tanzania back again to fight for IBF Continental African Championship. And then from there, we're looking at 5th of March here in Ghana. We're looking at getting him one of the strongest boxers from Mexico for him to fight here in next year, March 5th.
Interesting. I mean, let's talk about that trip to Tanzania, because we're very much aware that for some of these bouts, when a Ghanaian boxer is moving out of the shores of the country to, elsewhere, you get support from GBA, maybe the youth, Ministry of Youth and Sports, etc. Tell me, what challenges really did you encounter going to Tanzania? Because we understand you encountered some challenges.
Yes, as a boxer, you need to get some good mindset before he moves. And as per the rules of the Ghana Boxing Authority, when a boxer is moving out of the country, you need to get a release letter from the Ghana Boxing Authority. But lo and behold, it was very hard for us to get that.
It was hard for you to get the release letter from the GBA?
The president was asking the boxer to come and sign a contract with the GBA. And
what contract was that?
There is nothing like that anywhere in the world that the commission would like to have a contract with the boxer.
What contract? What contract was it?
GBA has rules. And the rules are very clear that any boxer that is fighting on the
outside of the jurisdiction of Ghana,
license of the Ghana Boxing Authority, being it under the flag of Ghana or not, if he is licensed and he's fighting under the license of Ghana Boxing Authority, then he needs to pay some percentage pays to the GBA.
Okay.
It's rules. So boxers, when they go out there, they fight and they come back and pay. And I've never, as a promoter manager, I've never flouted any GBA rules with regards to percentage paying back to the GBA. But you cannot sign a contract that is binding on the boxer into the future, because some boxers would like to move to other jurisdiction to, stay there. We have boxers from Tanzania.
So the contract, what exactly was in the contract? What was the GBA asking him to do in the contract?
Asking him to sign a contract stating that wherever he fights, he will pay some money to the GBA.
Okay.
And if he's not paying, then the GBA can take him to court. But the reason why they have, the president has drafted that contract is targeting the US market. But when you go to the US, you don't need to use the GBA license to fight, because each and every state in the United States has its own licensing system. And when you go there, you fight on the license of that particular state. And you pay as much as 30% of your percentage pays to the United States federal government as your tax. So why would you come back and pay another tax?
What do you think about that 10%?
It's not 10%. It's they are asking for 2%. But let me explain quickly for you. One, if we have boxers from Tanzania who are living here in Ghana. One of the board members, boxer, John Mafu, he has a boxer who is from Tanzania. He's here. He's licensed by the Ghana Boxing Authority.
Okay.
Whenever he fights here, he pays to the GBA percentage, because he's using the GBA license to fight. Okay. He's not paying anything back in Tanzania. Yeah. The same way we have boxers from UK, Lee McAllister, Ashley Theophan, they acquire Ghanaian license. And even when they fight, Ashley Theophan fought outside Ghana in the UK. He fought because he fought under the license of the Ghana Boxing Authority. He paid percentage to the Ghana Boxing Authority. The British Boxing Board of Control didn't ask him of anything, and he didn't sign anything with them. So there is no way I'll allow my boxer to sign anything with the GBA for his future, because he might move to the US to stay there. And right from the onset, when boxers start fighting here, they start paying percentage. Anytime they fight, they pay percentage to the GBA. They are not receiving anything from the GBA. And boxers, they are being developed by their trainers from the gym. And then when they fight amateur, is the regional amateur association that develop them. And when they come to professional, is the managers and the promoters that develop them.
So you think the GBA is not doing much as far as the development of the boxers are concerned?
GBA's core mandate is regulations. When it comes to development of boxers, it's from the clubs, the managers, and the promoters. And the the Ghana Boxing Federation, we have the amateur level. So when the boxer is at the amateur level, that is where it's developed.
Okay.
But on the professional side, it's the managers and the promoters that spend money into it. As a promoter, when I'm going to promote, I have to pay sanction fee to the GBA.
Okay.
When I have to fight for national championship, I have to pay sanction fee for the national championship title. When the boxers fight, they pay part of their percentage to the Ghana Boxing Authority.
So they are turned by the GBA to bind your athlete to a contract that will make him, that will make him to permanently fight under the license of the GBA. You find that problematic?
Yes, because boxers. As I'm working as a promoter and manager, you might have a partner who is in the US and he wants the boxer to relocate, to stay there to be, for his world championship bid. And he cannot, because let me explain this thing to you quickly. You hear boxers fighting for $1 million and all that stuff. Yeah. Managers take 33% of the purse that the boxers fight. When the boxer fights in the US, he pays 30% as tax to the US government, then it's 63%. Then trainers take 10%, it's 73%. Yeah. So the boxer ends up with just about 27%. So you cannot come back again to tax that boxer. If the boxer is willing to support the Ghana Boxing Authority and bring something, fine. But if somebody tells you there is a development fee and all that, so GBA literally is not developing anybody. Interesting.
Let's talk about the future of Alfred Lamptey. You've spoken about the plans you have to get a Mexican boxer to fight.
Yeah, and
so tell me, just briefly, what are the plans for him?
To clear that hurdle we had before we went to Tanzania, I had to get the boxer to be licensed by the Dubai Commission before he gets the release letter from the Dubai Commission to fight in Tanzania.
Wait, you had to get a license
for the boxer from Dubai.
From Dubai?
Yes.
Before he could fight in Tanzania. You didn't get the license from the GBA?
Yes, I want the
release letter. They didn't give it to you?
No. So we went there and we got a release letter from Dubai. But when we came back, I made sure I prepared the percentage that we need to pay, and I gave it to the trainer to go and pay, and he has paid to the GBA.
You didn't get the release letter, but you went to pay the percentage?
Because we want to pay. Because he's a licensee of the Ghana Boxing Authority.
What do you think about that payment? Do you think it's laudable? Is something we should encourage you to continue doing for the GBA, especially when they are not in the position to develop sports?
The fees that boxers are paying is just to run the GBA, and GBA core mandate is regulatory. So I don't know why always somebody has to pay this, somebody has to pay this. That is not how boxing commissions are run.
I mean, I think this year we haven't had quite a number of, bouts in Ghana. I mean, some past years we've had about 25 bouts in just a single year. This year we haven't seen much. What do you think has accounted for that?
There is some bouts going on with
the division, the league. The league thing. I mean, with the exception of the league, we haven't had like those major international bouts you used to see.
Ghana Boxing Authority is supposed to call promoters to come together whenever a broadcaster wants to come into the boxing terrain. And in boxing, broadcasters work with promoters. The commissions or the authorities are there to regulate. They are not involved in promotions of boxing. If you are a regulator and you are involved in a promotion and there is some bend of rules or there are flout of rules, what are you going to do about it if you are part of it? You can't be a player and at the same time the referee. So anywhere, in every jurisdiction, when there is a TV or there is a broadcaster coming on board for boxing, they go into agreement with the promoters. Sometimes when you go to the South Africa, because there is challenge of getting sponsorship and all that stuff, they get talks with broadcasters and they syndicate for the sponsorship and they allocate
everyone to the promoters.
Yes, they allocate 5 days to the promoters and they make sure they get the sponsorship money to run the promotions because they are the people who knows how to do it best.
So you think there wasn't any proper negotiation engagement with the promoters in the formation of the league?
No, there was nothing.
Finally, is Alfred Lamptey one that we should watch out for as far as winning a world title is concerned?
Yes, Alfred Lamptey, we are not rushing him just into the world title. We want to take him through the rigorous routine to get to the...
so we should expect a world title from Razak Lamptey in some years to come. Alfred Lamptey in some years to come. Fascinating stuff. We've been speaking to the trainer and of Alfred Lamptey,
and
the manager. I mean, and the promoter, pretty much the one who is managing the entire life and career of Alfred Lamptey. We appreciate your time this evening. We're very much grateful. We'll definitely have more of this conversation there. So that's pretty much it here on Prime Sports. But finally, let's talk about disability sports before we leave, because the International Tennis Federation has donated tennis gears to wheelchair tennis players in the country in its bid to develop and promote the sport in Ghana. There is more in this Joy Sports report by my colleague Kwame Asare-Bediago.
The items included 23 boxes of tennis rackets, balls, cones, spare parts for wheelchairs, among others. The wheelchair department of the International Tennis Federation has been supporting wheelchair tennis players in the country since 2013. Henry Labi is coordinator for Ghana Wheelchair Tennis.
All the players, all the people we see are professional wheelchair tennis players from all the regions, and they are players who have participated in international tournaments before. So with them, they have a lot of rackets, for example, at least, if not saying, all of them probably might have about 33 rackets. But this is just a symbol for them to take back to their regions, to distribute to the new players who don't have rackets and who don't probably have wheelchairs, because initially we gave every region an amount of wheelchairs that they're going to use in their regions for training purposes. So they are here to pick these items to take back to their regions to help other members in their regions who play wheelchair tennis to get the basic equipment that they need to play wheelchair tennis.
Wheelchair tennis player Maclean Achu Jijenyo is grateful to ITF for coming to their aid.
Getting all those items is a motivation to a player, because playing wheelchair tennis, for instance, your grip is usually wears out very easy. And so if our coordinator or ITF should donate this number of boxes of grips to us, it really brings a smile on the faces of every wheelchair tennis in the country. And from the players' perspective, what we want to say is that we thank ITF for this donation, and then we also want to thank our coordinator liaising with ITF and telling them the problem that we have, and ITF also answering it for us. So it really makes us very happy.
With support from the Sports Ministry and Corporate Ghana, wheelchair tennis in the country will grow from strength to strength.
Thank you for joining us on Prime Sports tonight. My name is Razak Musbau, but for more sports, do head to myjoyonline.com/sport. And tomorrow, we'll be back here with more. Do have a good evening.